If you want to talk about the weirdest palettes I have in my collection, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and yeah, we've got a bit of a goofy video today, and it is just talking about the palettes that I have in my collection that have the weirdest, most interesting packaging. I don't know why, I know why. The idea came to me because of one package that I received recently, and I thought, you know, this is such interesting packaging and it has me so attracted to it, and it made me start thinking about other palettes in my collection that I'm so attracted to the packaging, and thought that this would be a lot of fun to just talk about weird/neat stuff that I have in my collection. So let's get into it. Now, this is not sentimental packaging. That's another category to me. This is just unique packaging that I would never have thought of, or that I'd never thought I would be maybe attracted to. And yeah, so let's dive right in. Now, before we get too far, if you've been watching my videos for a while and you like what you see, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. That would be fantastic. Okay, let's get into the first one. Now, the first one I wanted to show you is this NARS Hot Tryst, just because of the design of the pressed powders inside and the design of the front itself. It's the neatest packaging I think that NARS has ever come out with, and I like it more than the ripple effect they came out with afterwards. And I also have the eyeshadow palette with the same kind of design. I think it is so nice. Now, it doesn't have the design in the shadows, but on the front, I think this is just so neat. So it just counts as one, but I did take out 10 design types. So this is design type number 1, if you will. Now, I have another set of palettes, and this is the Jean-Michel Basquiat collection. Now, some folks really dislike this idea. I really enjoyed it, and I can understand why there would be some distaste for it, but I think it is, I love the fact that I have something from the artist that I cherish and look at daily. I always make sure that I can see these palettes. I think they're beautiful, and this is my favorite out of the two, probably because it's a more colorful palette. It just absolutely speaks to me, and it just fit to me the Urban Decay aesthetic as well. I thought it was a good partnership, and really made us, the folks who were really called to the packaging, it made us appreciate the artist, and I absolutely love these palettes, and I don't see myself getting rid of them in any way, shape, or form out of the collection. I'll even show you the face palette that came with this whole collection. Here's another one right here, and it's the face palette. I'm so drawn to this packaging like crazy. This next one is, I just find it so intriguing. So it's black and white face palette and an eye palette. They magnetize. This is from the Estee Edit collection, and I even love, which I wouldn't normally, I love the different shadow and face palette powder design. I just really like this packaging in a way that I never thought I would be so drawn to, but they just hit it out of the park, and I'm so sad that Estee Edit just didn't make it. The concept was really good. I don't know, really liked it. Now, this one's a little weird, and it is because it's not technically an eyeshadow palette, but it gives the vibe of it, and so that's why I'm going to consider it an eyeshadow palette, and the contents can definitely be used as eyeshadow. And it's the Linda Hallberg Mood Crayons, and she stores these 5 crayons in a palette format. You see the mirror right there and the 5 crayons, and these crayons can be used for eyes, lips, or face. And so to me, I consider it a palette, and I think that it's such a unique way of presenting them. It shocked me. I was delighted with the way that it was packaged, and it just makes me love the Linda Hallberg brand even more, just because of the thought put into how she was going to present these pencils. And I think she knocked it out of the park. I think it's so well thought out, and that she made the packaging reflect her intent for how people could use the product. And I think that is so important. I've never seen that done with pencils before. I have a few Urban Decay in here for a good reason. This next one is the Heavy Metals palette. And people hate this packaging. And I have to admit, I am a big fan, except when I have to show the mirror and I have to hide it. There are 10 neutrals on one side and 10 more colorful shadows on the other side. And it's a great companion palette for a neutral palette, because you can put a punch of color somewhere to just amp up a look. And I have used this palette a number of times, and I really just enjoy what it's all about. It's artistic, it's different, and it just makes me smile every time I see it. I just really, really like the packaging, and I'm probably going to keep this palette for a ridiculously long amount of time, but it's just so neat. I mentioned that there was going to be some Urban Decay, and this electric palette is another one. I think that the colorful look of the external palette is really well done. I'm not usually a fan of plastic palettes, but this one is executed very, very well. It opens flat up, which I like. It will stay at any of the positions that you want. And the fact that they even match the brush to the colors, I just find that the focus with the black background is really on the colors. It really makes them pop. And everything about this palette was really well executed. And it's not a clasp, it's a magnetic hold. I don't know, everything about this palette was right. And really, it called me from the first time I saw it. This other one it's actually a quad. It's just an MT quad. But what I like about it, and they have a 10-pan palette that is like this, is that Urban Decay singles can really securely pop into this palette. You have to pull it out. They're really secure in here. And so you can change a quad or change a 10-pan palette to whatever it is that you want out of Urban Decay singles. And I just find that the packaging is extremely secure. It's not plastic or cardboard. It's actually metal. I don't think they make these quads anymore, but I really appreciate the way that this Nirvana palette is built. And I haven't seen a quad be like this before and as secure. Sometimes magnetic pans will fall out, and this one I don't ever worry about what's going to happen to the singles. And the design is bomb. Now this one I have a love-hate relationship with. I think it's unique and very interesting, but you'll also see that I keep it in the box. And the reason I keep it in the box is I can't stand round palettes. So why am I so happy about it? It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous design, absolutely gorgeous. I just don't like round palettes in the way I store my palettes, because they roll around, so I keep it in the box. And the way that it was set up and the color selection in here is fantastic. And the mirror is very big. And I did find that I could hold on to the palette and do a look, and even on camera I can just hold on to the palette and it does a good job. Again, the round palette I'm not a fan of, but I really like the design on the front. I think they did a really good job there. I like the whole concept of the elements and how they put it together, and there are some fantastic colors in this palette. The whole execution, the cohesion of the whole look, the palette, the colors, the concept, it was a very solid release by Urban Decay, despite the fact that it's round. I've gotten over that now, but I'm still going to put it back in the box. Okay, now this palette I've gushed over so many times on this channel. It's even the design that's the background on my phone, and it is the Clionadh magnetic palette. I just find that Clionadh shadows are really artistry, and putting this design, this Clionadh logo design as a stained glass logo on the palettes is just another example of how Clionadh, to me, I see it as an artisan website, not just a makeup website. What they do, everything they make is fantastic quality and really is beautiful. And this palette is no exception. And it just makes me excited to play with Clionadh shadows every time I open up one of these palettes. I have 2 of these palettes and I like it so much, love it so much, that I've ordered a third one that's going to be coming to me this spring. So I just, yeah, it's Clionadh executes packaging and shadows really, really well. They're very true to the brand, and I love that about them. Okay, now for the palette that started this whole thing. Number 10, or number 1, whichever way you want to call it. I don't want to say number 1 because I haven't used it yet. And it is the, now do you say Moschino or Moschino, or I don't know how to say the name of this designer, but this palette, I ended up, now I blame Teresa is Dead for this palette purchase. Everything about it, from this packaging that is like how you would buy an electronic device. This packaging, the whole execution is based on a full execution of a theme, and they did a really great job. So let me open it up. So this is the empty packaging. It's just makes me think of what you would, when you would buy a calculator or something. And this is the palette. And anybody who knows me relatively well knows that I am an Apple enthusiast. So I call my house the orchard because we have everything Apple. And so this palette just really got me because they did such a good job. And actually, when it comes to travel for business, I know that I would put this palette in next to my laptop and just call it a day. That's the palette I would bring. It's just so obvious to me that that's what I would do for a business trip anyway. So it has again the mirror up here, and it has 30 shadows, if memory serves. And it has a color switch built right in. How fancy is that? So huge mirror that adjusts to how you want to hold the palette, and a very big variety of colors, from neutrals to very, very colorful looks. And it just, I resisted it for a really long time, but when I was able to get it for the clearance price, I thought, what? Even if it ends up being gimmicky, I am so attracted by the concept that I know I'm going to be just tickled to have it in my collection, and I definitely am. It is the neatest packaging concept, but it's because it speaks to me from another perspective. I get that, but if that's what they wanted to attract, that's the kind of person they wanted to attract, they got me. They got me. The laptop palette. So yeah, it's exactly what it is, and my little propeller head is very happy just looking at this palette, and I'm looking forward to to playing with it as well. And just shows you how much I like the packaging, because here I'm talking about it and I haven't even done any sort of diving into it whatsoever. So that is the palette. When I received the packaging, I thought, are you kidding me? Because I had never seen the outside packaging. When I saw that packaging, I thought, yeah, there are a number of palettes in my collection that I think are neat and curiosities, points of interest, and I was very happy to have a chance to share those top 10 unique looking palettes with you. Let me know what your favorite oddball palette is. I would love to hear in the comments. So yeah, thanks for allowing me to show my quirky side today. I appreciate it. I hope you found these different palettes entertaining. What is your favorite weird or different palette? I would love to know in the comments. But that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And see you in the next video. But for now, take care.